Well, that went downhill quickly. What's up, viewers of this video? So unfortunately I haven't been posting videos recently because college turns out to be a lot more time consuming than I thought. But anyway, speaking of things that are more difficult than I thought, apparently getting wins in this league is a lot more difficult than it first seemed for the Canucks. So what I'm going to do this video, instead of giving reviews of the last games due to the fact that A, we've lost most of them, and B, it's like 20 games at this point, I'm going to go through team by team explaining why the Canucks are in fact the best team in the league still, despite what it might seem. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the 30th team, which is the Calgary Flames currently, and then go up all the way to the sitting at number 1. So going into this year, Anaheim seemed like they would be a pretty big cup favorite. Now, as you may remember, Anaheim beat Calgary last year in the playoffs in the second round, meaning that Calgary was expected to be just behind Anaheim, so most people were still putting them in a playoff position. However, this year, the Anaheim Ducks have not done well, so logically this means that Calgary, who would be just below them, are now sitting in last place. All I know is I got this Johnny Gaudreau rookie card last year, and I was hanging on to it in case the value increased, and now that's looking like a bad idea. Next up, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets. Let's start a relatreating, you guys. Now, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, I don't really have one for this. I think we're just genuinely better than them. The Colorado Avalanche. Now, unfortunately for you guys, Patrick Waugh is so intimidating he accidentally scared away your chances of getting a playoff spot. Next up we have the Edmonton Oilers. What do you guys think? Would my Austin Matthews jersey look better in blue or in white? Alright, the Carolina Hurricanes. Did the monsters from Space Jam just kind of come and take away the powers from Cam Ward and Eric Stahl in 2006? Because that really seems to be the only thing that could have possibly happened to those two. The Buffalo Sabres. Now, I'm not saying Jack Eichel is bad at all, but I'm just saying those talks of him winning the Calder Trophy are kind of dying down a lot recently, aren't they? The Anaheim Ducks. Now, naturally what I said about Calgary being last because Anaheim's only this far up works in reverse due to the properties of the transitive property, so due to the fact that Calgary is in last place, the Ducks are still only in 22nd place. That's science. The Philadelphia Flyers. You know, sometimes it gets sad that the Canucks have to retain salary on Roberto Luongo, and then I remember that you guys have Vincent Lecavalier at $5 million for 3 more years. The Phoenix or Arizona Coyotes. Look, I don't care how good your first 11 forwards are if your 12th one is John Scott. Now, for Winnipeg, I don't have something that makes them bad so much as I have a brain teaser. If Jamie Benn gets traded to them, will they be called Benny and the Jets? The San Jose Sharks. Now, we have to be very scientific with this one. The Canucks logo is an orca. The Sharks logo is a shark. Sharks are afraid of orcas. Don't believe me? How come you've never seen a shark and an orca in the same water before? Myth confirmed. The Tampa Bay Lightning. You know, right now Toronto's probably looking and going, okay, so we can't afford David Price for $31 million a year, but you know what we can afford? The Florida Panthers. You know, it really is sensational that at 43 years old, Jaromir Jagr is still showing up every single game. Too bad the same can't be said about your fans. Yeah! The Pittsburgh Penguins. Well, I know Crosby hasn't been doing that well lately, but the All-Star game is less than a month away, so you know what that means. He's going to find some way to get injured. The New Jersey Devils. Now, when Corey Schneider got traded because he wanted more playing time, I don't think this is quite what he had in mind. The Nashville Predators. Now, you know you might have something wrong when you have a Canucks fan commenting on how ugly your jerseys are. Also, unrelated thing. Question of the day. Do you think that Shea Weber will finally be able to beat Zdeno Chara's hardest shot record in Nashville at the All-Star Game this year? Comment below what you think. I hope he does. Speaking of Chara, we have the Boston Bruins up next.
To the groin. That is suspendable.
Alright, now we have the Chicago Blackhawks. I've got a whole bunch of reasons for this. Number 1. Turn that off. The Minnesota Wild. Now, to all Canucks fans complaining about Luca Sbisa, I would just like to point out Ryan Suter. That is all. Next up, the Ottawa Senators. Does anyone care about Ottawa? Like, seriously? Anyone? No? Okay. The St. Louis Blues. Are you a struggling Canucks fan who is sad because your team hasn't won a cup in over 40 years? St. Louis, we're here to help because we know your pain. The Detroit Red Wings. Now, this one might seem difficult to criticize because Grand Rapids essentially just seems like an all-star team of the best players no one's ever heard of before. However, I do have a theory. What does Detroit wear? Red jerseys. What are their players? Almost all Europeans. Red, European, communists. And if the Summit Series taught us anything, commies can't play hockey. Next team. Alright, next up we have the totally not Brooklyn yet New York Islanders. Now, these guys have a great team this year. Jonathan Tavares is going to lead them to, well, what potentially could be a Stanley Cup, until you say Yaroslav Halak, Stanley Cup winning goalie. Sounds a little bit weird, doesn't it? The Los Angeles Kings. Now, you guys have a really good team this year, which is exactly the problem. You guys need to barely get in, sneak into that second wildcard spot, and then sweep the first place team. If you have a great team, you're gonna lose. That's just how this sport works. The Washington Capitals. Now, your captain has had an amazing year, breaking records, becoming the highest scoring Russian player ever. Unfortunately, that means he's also a communist. Moving on. The New York Rangers. Hey, good news, guys. It looks like this year you won't even need Chris Kreider to injure Carey Price. The Montreal Canadiens. Now, honestly, if we're talking about Stanley Cup hopes here, it doesn't really matter how good the Canadiens are, because if they have to play the Lightning in the first round, that means that they're not getting past the first round. And finally, in first place, with 42 points, we have the Dallas Stars. And this means we're going to have to be extra scientific. What is a star? Part of the sky. Sky is synonymous with air. Air is a big part of the nature we breathe. What grows in nature? Trees. Who cuts down trees? Johnny Canuck. He then proceeds to sell those trees for profit because he's not a communist. We have confirmed that the Canucks are the best team in the NHL right now. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching, guys. Just a quick little thing. If you don't know who Thatcher Demko is, you absolutely should. He's a goalie playing for the Boston University right now, I believe. In the Canucks prospect system. He is tearing it up. So definitely look him up. Other than that, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you liked it and stuff like that. And I'll try to get another video out soon. Almost done college. I'm quitting. Dropping out. Zuckerberging. Thank you for watching.